a little bit nervous, actually. Hey everyone, I'm Sycamore, and today I'm gonna translate some Canadian slang for you. This one is obviously the one we had to start with because it's the most stereotypical of all the Canadian slang. I guess the big question people ask me is, do people really say it? And they do, and I didn't think they did until I moved to the US and then I started making trips back to Canada. I started noticing that people do say it, and even I say it, and I never live it down when I say it occasionally in the States. Anytime I say it, people make fun of me. One thing I'd like to clarify about it is you don't really say a, it's actually more of a hey. So it's like, it's cold out, hey. That's kind of how you say it. Double double. This one's really funny because in the States, if you say double double, people think you're talking about In-N-Out Burger. But up north, if you say double double, people think you're talking about a coffee order from the infamous Tim Hortons. All a double double is a regular coffee with 2 creams and 2 sugars, and it's so delicious. Pop, that's our word for soda, actually. I do know there's some places in the States that actually say pop as well. I think more in the like Midwestern area. Theirs sounds a little more like pop, and ours is just a straight up pop. I grew up saying it, and soda was kind of just like a fancy word for it, I guess. I don't know. And now I don't really say it, and I find that if I do say it, once again, I am made fun of. This one is very Canadian because there's nowhere else in the world that actually has loonies or toonies, and by that I mean $1 coins or $2 coins. Fun fact about the toonie is I remember when it came out. We didn't always have it. The loonie's been around for years. It's just this little gold-colored $1 coin. The toonie came out when I was in, I think, kindergarten, and I was about 5 years old, and I remember somebody brought it to school for show and tell, and I was like, wow, it's so cool, it has a polar bear on it. I like that we still have coins. I like them better than $1 bills, if I'm being honest. And there's just something super old world about it. The fact that we still have coins that look like pieces of 8 or pieces of silver, I think it's awesome. Chesterfield. This is one that I have never said, and I'm not entirely sure it's Canadian, but I've definitely heard Canadians say it. My grandma used to say it, but it's actually a couch. Maybe it's like a specific version of a couch, like an old Corinthian couch. I'm not really sure. The only person I remember who used to say it was my grandma, and she would say, "Don't jump on the Chesterfield," or whatever. Poutine. I'm sure you guys know this one. It's the worst kept Canadian secret ever. It is an entree that originated in Montreal, and it consists of French fries covered in gravy and sprinkled with cheese curds on top, and it is amazing. And you need to try it, but you need to try it in Montreal because that's where you can get the real deal. Chinook. I grew up saying this one a lot because it's actually a weather phenomenon that is kind of exclusively in Western Canada, which is where I grew up. A Chinook is essentially a warm wind that blows across the prairies and can happen at any time, but is most mysterious when it happens in winter because we could have, 4 feet of snow on the ground and all of a sudden a Chinook's gonna blow in and it melts everything. It's a fun word, and I find that if you come to Alberta, a lot of things are named after Chinooks, like the Chinook Mall or the Chinook Bank. We really took it and ran with it, and maybe now we've gone too far. Hang a Larry. This is definitely one I grew up saying with my friends. It cracks me up because I feel like now it's starting to crop up on shows like Letterkenny and other really quintessential Canadian shows. Larry is slang for left. So if you were driving and you're giving your friend directions, you would say, hang a Larry at that stop sign. The inverse of hang a Larry, of course, is hang a Roger, which means turn right. Toboggan. I'm glad this one's in here because this is another one that is used in the United States, but it's used for a different reason. I've heard people say toboggan, but they're referring to a wool cap or a beanie, or as we like to call it, a toque. The funny thing about that to me is we say toboggan in Canada, but when we say it, we're actually referring to a long wooden sled. And when I was a kid, we'd actually go tobogganing, and we would actually take one and tie it to the back of our dad's truck, and he would just pull us around a snowy field, and we would ride on these toboggans. And it sounds very dangerous, but it's very fun. Pencil crayons. So the person who definitely makes fun of me the most for my Canadian choice of words is my manager. And just 2 weeks ago, I swear, I mentioned pencil crayons to him, and he almost stopped the moving car we were in because he was so shocked. I guess in the United States you refer to them as colored pencils. I think that's what it is. The right way to say it is pencil crayons because they're clearly pencils that are acting like crayons. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my translation of some of these awesome Canadian slang terms, and I hope that you'll consider using them in your life, no matter where you are. My name is Sycamore. Thanks for watching.